Okay, so this morning I'm going to be listening to a piece by Marc-Andre. I lied in the previous video. It turns out I can't find a recording for that piece by Alexandra Filonenko, so we're moving on. This piece is called Auf, and it's the third piece with this title. And it was written in 2007, I believe. Yeah. The recording we're going to be listening to is on SoundCloud here, and it's by SWR Orchestra Freiburg. It's about 20 minutes long, it looks like, and the instrumentation is 4/4/4/4, 6/4/4/1, 6 percussionists, harp, piano, and strings, and one thing that I need to look up here. I think this is just audio playback. I don't know why it's listed above the strings. I guess that's where it's going to be visualized in the score. Yeah, and if you look at the setup, that makes sense. So, looks like we got 8-channel audio and a keyboard sampler on stage with a monitor. Maybe that'll be triggering the electronics, I'm not sure. And it looks like there's a slightly different setup of the orchestra, like having the basses on either side, flanking the rest of the strings, and having the cellos over here. It's kind of interesting, so that the violins are on the right and left, and the harps are also, so it's all symmetrical, and it kind of reflects how one might mix an ensemble at a mixing board. Yeah, you can see it's like a tremendously large ensemble, and it starts with a bunch of string divisé stuff in the violins. So, Marc-Andre, French composer, living in Germany, born in 1964, and he lives in Berlin. He studied composition with Claude Balif and Gerard Grisey at the Paris Conservatoire in the late 80s, early 90s. Continued his studies at Stuttgart with Helmut Lochenmann. So that is a very stacked CV. That's really crazy. Yeah, he has a lot of piece titles with these ellipses. His music is published by Edition Peters in Frankfurt, and he seems to start his major opus numbers at 1992, so as he's finishing his first degree at the Paris Conservatoire. If you want access to this recording here, it's in the video description as always, and if you want to stick around, I'll let you know my thoughts on the piece. Okay, yeah, so super cool piece to go through and look at the score along with it. Obviously very indebted to his teacher Lochenmann. There's a lot of extended techniques, and it really looks at the orchestra as a sort of sound-producing object. There is an electronic component, but a lot of these sounds sound electronic as well. For the most part, the electronics seem pretty subtle, like a lot of effects processing, just adding some. Occasionally you can hear like some delays and a lot of reverb. Maybe some things are amplified more than others, I'm not sure. But it doesn't seem like anything's mic'd. I think it's just fixed media. And yeah, as for like the general sound of it, I think there's like a lot of really fantastic climaxes, and there's a good contrast between these like vertical sonorities, which and then like the resonating effect that comes after, but also colored by sustained things. And one thing that really surprised me while going through the score was how a lot of the sustained sections were completely written out, just like at a slow tempo over several measures. And then there were other moments where just very long fermatas were used. And then there was more active stuff at like more than twice the tempo of the sustain stuff. So it sounds very textural, but if you look at how it's conducted and performed, there's a lot of variety there, and it seems to be very engaging for everyone who's performing it. Lots of fantastic effects with the like 6 percussionists playing pitched metals, bell-like things, and the 2 pianos. There's a big 2 piano moment. I think a lot of the faster stuff was saved for the instruments that have a very short attack, and I think that was a general theme of the piece, was like this idea of a very loud short attack and then sustain, and sometimes like these inverted envelopes where there's a build up in the brass or winds to another attack kind of thing. Yeah, I thought it was really fantastic listen, and something that can really open your mind to the possibilities of the orchestra. Like, compared to a lot of the other repertoire we've been listening to, this is really like a different world, and yeah, I think it's an important part. It would be an important part of any composer's education to listen to music like this for orchestra. Because even though we can't all live in Berlin, we don't have access to the greatest music scenes necessarily. This is still going on. It was going on 30 years ago, and it's really cool. Yeah, this might be the only orchestra piece of his that I have. But yeah, we're going to continue the trend of sort of more spectral orchestra works with a piece by George Friedrich Haas in the next episode. So stay tuned for that.